Hey yo, what's good, Benny Gang? It's your boy Fearless here, bringing you another video. First of all, I am sorry I have not been posting a lot recently. I'm getting back into things. I've just been kind of taking a little bit of a break from playing some Apex, just been chilling, playing some Rust and stuff like that still. I've just been really, honestly, just not feeling it, but I'm gonna start getting back into some things. So I'm gonna do a tier list for you guys for Season 8 weapons with hop-ups and without hop-ups. So basically what's going to happen here is I'm going to put the weapons in the tier, or in the row that I think they belong, S, A, B, C, D, F. I might get rid of one of these tiers on the way because I don't know. F tier is pretty bad. D tier, I don't know if there's any truly, in quotation, D tier weapons. I'm definitely not sure on that, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of D tier. So I'm going to leave it like this, S, A, B, C, and then just straight up F, because like if there's a gun that sucks enough to not be in C, then it's gonna be an F. But on should I just do S, A, B, C? I don't know, honestly, but I'm gonna put them in where I think they belong. I'm gonna explain why that weapon is there where they belong, and I'm also use pubs, comp, and all that to take into account what weapons are good. And mostly, you know, if the gun's good in comp, then that means the gun's gonna be good in pubs majority of the time. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start off with probably the worst weapon in the game, P20. I said I don't think that there is an F tier, but is it the P20? I mean, without hammer points, it's terrible. The P20 literally hits for a whopping like what? I think it's like All right, everybody. So P2020 is in F tier for the reason that the damage that it puts out is just not good enough at all. I mean, no matter how big your mag is, the P2020 stock just really isn't that good, and it's not really, you know, a good tier weapon to pick up. I mean, it's a good starter weapon if you need to get a weapon off drop, but I mean the DPS of it, damage per second, is 108, which isn't good compared to a lot of the weapons that are up in category. And the mag size, whenever you get a better mag, is like 12 to 14 to 16 to 18. So that goes from purple to blue to gray to no mag. And the reload speed is pretty fast, but I mean, it's a pistol. It's along the lines of being probably one of the worst weapons in the game. So I mean, just take it how it is. P20 is good to get picked up off the ground. It's just really not a gun that you want to keep throughout the game if you don't have hammer points. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and put the P20 with hammer points. P20 with hammer points is definitely, like, I'd say it's a pretty solid gun when it has hammer points. It's a pretty solid gun when it has hammers, but I don't know if it goes to A or to B, but I definitely think it goes up a couple tiers when it has hammer points. Hammer points are pretty annoying to deal with, so I think I'm gonna put it in A tier. No, I'll put it at B tier because comp wise you don't really see anyone running hammer points, so I definitely think it brings it up to at least average. So B tier is going to be average, this below average, this is terrible, this is good, and then this is very good. So those are basically the tiers, is what I'm going to go through with you guys. So hammer points, basically whenever you get hammer points, what it does is it adds flesh damage, and with the flesh damage that you get with hammer points after you break their armor is crazy. It takes like 3 to 2 bullets to kill somebody when you have hammer points. Now with hammer points on the P20, it's really good. I mean, it takes, like I said, 2 to 3 shots to kill someone when they're flesh. With the Mozambique though, on the other hand, if you crack their shields, you're probably gonna one-shot them for like 106 flesh damage. Like the Mozambique turns into a different beast when it has hammer points. So let's see, the Mozambique, we're gonna go ahead and do that one. I definitely think, wait, where is it? Where's the Mozambique? Am I blind? I must be blind. Oh no, it's right here. Okay, so Mozambique, I'm putting it in C tier. It used to be F tier, but whenever they added the extra 4th shot into the Mozambique, this gun turned definitely a little better. It was a little better off the ground. It used to be the worst gun in the game. Like, everyone memed about it for a while, but we're in season 8 now, like literally two years into the game. Mozambique Not as bad as it was before, but definitely not, you know, definitely not average yet. It's definitely slightly, like, you know, it's below average, but at least it's not terrible like the P20. The P20 is like bottom of the barrel right now. So with this, let's see the Mozambique with hammer points. Mozambique with hammer points, I mean, you could honestly argue and put it in A, because with the hammer points, I mean, once you hit them all the way down to flesh, literally you can one-shot people with the Mozambique with hammer points. Literally, I've hit hundreds, like 106 on people flesh with the Mozambique hammer points. It's actually insane. Like, hammer points really like changes these two guns a lot, but I don't know if it makes the Mozambique average or above average, because I mean, hitting with 106 to flesh on someone whenever you have hammer points, like, I mean, I think that's definitely not average. Like, to me, that's above average. So I think I'm gonna put Mozambique with hammer points in above average. I definitely would think that that's like a good place to put it, just because like of, you know, the hop up itself. So let's see here. What gun should I go for next? You know what, might as well finish the shotguns. The EVA 8. EVA 8 is an A tier weapon. People might think that the Mastiff is probably the better of the shotguns, but don't sleep on the EVA 8. The EVA 8 is really good. I definitely think it's an above average gun. It's always been an above average gun. People sleep on it. This gun next season is probably going to change a lot, and I'll be honest with you, I think this gun with a purple bolt could possibly be better than the Mastiff if it gets a little bit more of a buff. So the EVA 8 definitely belongs in, it's an above average gun. EVA 8's always been, you know, hovered around this way. It's been average to above average, depending on what bolt you have, and not even just depending on what bolt you have. Like, I mean, the gun is just insane. I mean, some people are just now learning that at 2 years into the game that holding this gun down, it's been full auto, which is actually insane to me, because well, I wouldn't say I've always known that, but at the beginning of the game, I didn't know that, and then I learned it, and I was like, wow, the EVA 8's actually crazy. So EVA 8 goes here. Let's see, how much does it hit per shot, because I'm not sure. So the DPS it puts out per second is 130 or 132, and then the max size is 8, and the reload speed is about around 3 seconds to 2.7 seconds. So the damage output, like, with it is, it can be pretty crazy, you know, like a 63, 99, and 63. I mean, it's pretty insane to think about. Like, whenever you're just shooting at least 2 per shot at people, you can rack up the damage with this thing easier than you can with the Mastiff. Like, by the time you're ready to shoot your Mastiff again, the EVA 8's either shot 2 or 3 times depending on what bolt you have. The EVA 8's gonna be a problem here next season, I believe, or at least this next split for rank. People are going to be using it a lot more. So I'm going to go on to the Mastiff now. Mastiff is definitely this is post Massive nerf. I mean, I still think Mastiff is an S tier gun. I mean, people use it in pubs, people use it in comp shit, people use it to go to the bathroom, people use it in fucking firing range, people fucking fall asleep with it, people love the Mastiff. It's either you love or hate the Mastiff. You love it when it's in your hand, but you hate it when it's in someone else's hand. This gun will 2-pump you. This gun will 3-pump. This gun will destroy you and piss you off throughout your entire experience playing this game. And I'll be honest with you, it pisses me off. The Mastiff is definitely a top tier gun, and ever since they put it on the ground, it's been a problem. It's been so freaking good. So the max size on it, I'm pretty sure... Did they lower it? I think the max size used to be 6, but now it's 5, if I'm not wrong. I think, I don't know, am I right? Yeah, I think I'm right. Yeah, it's definitely 5 now. I just couldn't remember for a second. I don't know why. I think it is actually. Here, hold on, let me look this up. How much mag size is the Mastiff and Apex? I just like want to know. Cause I can't. I seriously can't remember, but I think it's like it's either 5 or 6. Where am I? Oh, I'm looking at the Peacekeeper. Okay, I have like a little damage list because I can't remember off the top of my head. But no, the Mastiff has 6. Okay, so I'm a nincompoop. Right, I get it. I get it. So Mastiff S tier, any competitive player you're gonna see run this gun whenever they get a chance. Bolt, you know, like purple bolt, no bolt, like people are running the Mastiff, people are gonna use the Mastiff. It's just literally the Mastiff is the way of life in Apex. So I wanted to go ahead and get the shotguns out of the way, but we're gonna go ahead. Actually, I forgot to, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna just go ahead and put the heirloom. I mean, everyone knows why the Peacekeeper is gonna be an S tier. It's an heirloom gun. I mean, it's an heirloom gun for good reason. The PK is definitely better than the Mastiff in so many different ways. If these two were to swap spots again, the PK would, you know, be exactly the same as the Mastiff is now. Annoying, but I mean, at least the PK is a little more skillful to use than the Mastiff. I mean, I think the Mastiff takes significantly less skill to use than the Peacekeeper. So take it how it is. Peacekeeper has a 5 mag size. It used to be 6, but they brought it down to 5 just for the simple fact they used to be able to freaking you used to be able to pump a whole squad with just a Peacekeeper. The Mastiff, you can never really just straight up kill a whole squad with it. So I mean, well, maybe whenever it was an heirloom gun, you know, it was in the care package, you could, but the Peacekeeper, you could literally just 2 pump 3 people in a row on one squad, boom, they're out. Peacekeeper, been S tier, always gonna be S tier. So I think I would just like want to get like the somewhat most exciting, like I'm gonna just try to get every gun out of the way. Prowler is S tier. It is an heirloom gun. Prowler has always been good since the beginning of the game, since this gun came out. A lot of people just kind of underestimated the gun. They never used it. Everyone was about the 999. You know, they are always about this gun right here, the R99. Always about it. They never decided to pick up the Prowler. Once they picked up the Prowler, it just started to become a problem. Everyone realized the Prowler has a 35 mag size, and I mean, it's crazy that people, you know, don't realize how good some of these guns are until other people start picking them up, and it just shakes up the meta. I mean, it's just crazy to me to think about, because I mean, I had this conversation with Chicken yesterday, and basically, I mean, some of these guns, you know, the EVA 8, someone could say it's been an F tier, but no, it's definitely an A tier gun. People just are now starting to realize where it belongs. And the Prowler was in the same position, and now look at it, it's in the care package. This gun used to be like, I personally thought it was always an A tier weapon, and then R99 was S tier. Like, you can never go wrong with picking up a Prowler with select fire. It's insane. The DPS on the Prowler is like 200. Like, that's damage per second. If you hit one whole burst, you can literally one burst somebody. You hit all the shots in one burst, they're dead. They're literally dead. That's one reason why this gun was a problem, because you could just one burst somebody with this. It is crazy. Like, literally 5 shots per burst, boom, dead. Prowler's an S tier gun. It belongs here. It's gonna stay here for a while. Kraber, I mean, Kraber, I see so many people in competitive talking about the Kraber, how it shouldn't be in competitive and stuff like that, which I totally understand. I mean, it's a sniper, it hits hard. You can literally one shot somebody to the head with it, like 320, or like anywhere above 200 plus, like you can hit with just a headshot. Like, you literally, everyone's dead. Literally no one will survive a Kraber headshot. No one in the game can survive it. And it makes it very frustrating, and it's also a luck-based gun, because, you know, you get it out of a care package, and it can change how a team plays. You can play different around a Kraber. You can get lucky and get a pick on somebody and then push them. And a lot of competitive players think that they should just remove the Kraber from comp, and honestly, I understand that. The Kraber is definitely I'd say one of the most powerful guns in the game, just for the simple fact of the headshot multiplier. Because if you can hit one shots on any character, like, it's done. Like, you get a free pick, done. You can ruin a whole team's game by just getting that one Kraber headshot on somebody. The Kraber's S tier. Kraber's always been S tier. Kraber ain't never been like anything below S tier. It's always been here, and it's gonna stay here until they do something drastic to it. Alrighty, so let's see. I'm just gonna get into the Wingman without Skull Piercer. Wingman without Skull Piercer, I mean, I'd probably say it's A tier. It's still an extremely good gun. I don't know if I can put it in the same as like Mozambique. Well, actually, yeah, with Mozambique with hammer points and the Eve8 without Skull Piercer. I don't know actually, because I feel like the Wingman now that they changed the max size, I mean, even with Skull Piercer, it's like still A tier, or without Skull Piercer, it's still S tier. Because the Wingman hits for 47 to the body, depending on which character, 47 to 45. And then it also headshots hit for like, depending on what helmet somebody has, like, well, what is it? Like, I mean, I use the Wingman religiously. I just know that since they changed the max size, like it's standard now, it comes with 6 off the ground. I mean, that's really good. It's better than what it used to be. It used to be like, I know it was 5 at one point, and then it was even 4 at one point, which was even terrible, but now it's like back to 6. And now it goes up by 1 with whichever mag you have, a gray or blue or purple. So I think the Wingman will always be an S tier gun, but just to be good with the tier list for right now, I'm gonna put it in A tier with everything else without Skull Piercer. But with Skull Piercer, S tier. I mean, with the hop up, it's like quick draw's like whatever, I'd say. Like, I mean, it helps a little bit, but I mean, I don't know, like for me, like I still want to put the Wingman up here with like with Skull Piercer. With or without Skull Piercer, it's still good. Like, you hit headshots with either gun, like you're destroying somebody. Only really thing with this hop up is, I mean, you take it out faster, and even then you could still lose a fight to any of these shotguns or a Prowler, or you can use the Kraber as a shotgun, I mean, if you want, up close, because the hip fire is insane on it. But I definitely think these two are in the category of S. Like, the Wingman's an S tier gun. Ooh, holy crap, that was a bad one. Belong in S tier, and then this also belongs in S tier with it. So let's see, triple take goes in average. It's been an average gun. I mean, it's an annoying gun to get shot by. It's a sniper. Snipers are frequently used in competitive and pubs by people who want to hold positioning and shoot across the map, and it's definitely an average gun. Sentinel, I'd probably say is, could I say it's average? Yes. Could I say it's below average? Absolutely. But that's the thing. I mean, the Sentinel is not a bad gun, but it is not used as frequently as people think. Sentinel is definitely a slower fire rate compared to all the other snipers, so I'm putting it below average. B tier longbow is an average gun. Without Skull Piercer, it's average. I mean, I still think, I mean, I could definitely say, you know, I'm gonna say it's below average without Skull Piercer, and with Skull Piercer, it's above. It hits for a lot to the head. It's like the Wingman, hits for over, like, I think it's like 100 or 80 or something with Skull Piercer, and Skull Piercer definitely changes how the whole gun is compared to whenever it doesn't have Skull Piercer. So it's definitely an average gun with Skull Piercer. Charge rifle, I mean, charge rifle is definitely an A tier gun. I mean, you can hit somebody across the map for a lot in one burst of shooting this gun. You can hit for like 100 plus in the 80s. I mean, it's a hit scan gun. It doesn't take, I actually, let me rephrase that. It does take a decent amount of skill to use now, but I mean, it kind of is at the same time a skillless gun in the hands of like a professional player or a competitive player or force, because let's just say this gun is annoying when you're playing ranked and you're getting shot by force, nothing, freaking promo. This gun is very annoying, so it's definitely an A tier gun. They'd probably argue that it's an S tier gun, but I think it's A tier. I think it's above average. It's a very good gun. It's a good sniper for sure. It's one of the best snipers in the game compared to all these other. I mean, I could also say that the triple take is above average. It's a very annoying gun. I think I'm gonna put it in above average, absolutely. So let's see, devotion S tier, devotion turbocharger S tier. Here is the explanation. Diva's been one of the best guns in the game. With all these guns up here, they have all been the best gun in the game at some point. That's why they're here, because they have been one of the best guns in the game at one point, and they still are pretty fucking good. So the Devotion, I mean, do I have to say anything? The Devotion's had the highest DPS in the game forever. Like the DPS per second, 240 per second. The RPM is literally 900. You can literally, if you hit all your shots with the Devotion, you can legitimately hit for like, oh, I think it was like over like 1,000 or over like 2,000. It's something crazy. And even with turbocharger, that just makes it even more deadlier. Literally the Devo, been a problem, always a problem, still a problem. Don't know when they'll figure it out, but they need to figure it out. Havoc at one point was the best gun. I'll say Havoc is definitely a B tier weapon without turbocharger. With turbocharger, for the same reason with the Devotion, I mean, let's see, with the, you know, with the Havoc, I mean, its DPS is 198. It's still not the best, but it's the second best whenever it comes to assault rifles. I mean, it hits for a lot. The recoil patterns kind of bleh with it now that they've kind of messed with it, but with turbocharger, it just makes it deadly up close, and it's insane. Definitely an above average gun with turbocharger. L-Star C. I wouldn't put L-Star in F. I don't think it belongs in F right now. I mean, for right now, literally the P20 is the only one that I see in F tier. The L-Star, I mean, it's not a terrible gun, but it's, out of all the other LMGs, it's definitely not the best. I mean, it has literally 23 mag size, and you can't get a mag for it compared to any other gun in the game. Like, why would you pick this gun up over any gun that's above it? Why would you? I don't know, just for the beams maybe, but like, it's whatever. Actually, I mean, I could even put the L-Star in F. I don't even know. You know, actually I can't, because F tier, literally, like, the P20 is worse. Like, I'd take any of these guns over this one. So Flatline A tier. Flatline could be argued to be an S tier. It hits for a lot. The recoil pattern is pretty easy to control. It hits for 20 to low profile, and then 19. I mean, it's practically a mini Spitfire, just with a tinier mag. I mean, I've always thought the Flatline has been really, really good. People have always slept on it. I definitely still think it's one of the best guns in like, you know, one of the best guns you can pick up off drop, and also use throughout the game with like a 3x, 2x bruiser. I mean, it's insane whenever it comes down to it. I mean, it hits for a lot, so why wouldn't you want to pick it up? I mean, you could argue it's S tier, but I definitely think it's an above average gun. Hemlock is still S tier. Hemlock is, in the recent, has been getting buffed a lot, and since it's been getting buffed, people have been using it. I'm pretty sure you can one burst with this gun. I mean, and the recoil pattern is considerably, like, extremely easy to control. It's just extremely easy to control. Not only is it extremely easy to control, I mean, the damage output it does is the highest in the game in the assault rifle category, basically. I mean, it hits for 214 DPS. Damage per second is what DPS stands for. And then it ramps up to 643. I mean, it's on par to be one of the best. It's just like, it's hard to compete with this gun. It is extremely hard to compete. So we're gonna go on to the Spitfire. Spitfire belongs in S tier. Spitfire's been like S to A tier. Now it's back to S tier because of what they have done to it. They buffed the damage to it to 19. The damage used to be at 20 at the beginning of the game, then they dropped it down to 18. Now it's at 19, which, I mean, that one damage isn't really that big of a difference compared to, you know, 20 to 19. I mean, the mag size on the Spitfire has always been ridiculous. Like, it has been insane. Like, it's literally the highest mag size that you can get is 55 with the Spitfire, and with Rampart it's like, I think 58 or something, but it's insane. You have that much bullets. It's the most forgiving gun in the game. These two are the most forgiving in the game because, whoa, that one was nasty. Most forgiving gun in the game because, for the simple fact of how much damage it puts out and how big of the mag, or how big of a mag it has. I mean, why wouldn't you pick it up? I mean, the only trade-off that you get is you get that damage and that mag size. You can't move, you know, as fast as you can with, for say, like a Prowler, a Wingman, a shotgun, or something like that. But I mean, literally everyone in comps using Spitfires. People in pubs have been using Spitfires. Everyone's been using these guns in pubs. Everybody, pubs, comp, doesn't matter. These guns at the top. So I'm gonna go into the scout. I mean, scouts, you could say scouts been S tier, but I'm gonna say it's above average. I mean, compared to the hemlock, the scout, I mean, is still good, but the hemlock's a better option than the scout. I mean, the scout definitely I mean, it's been good. It's not like it's been bad. It's definitely a good gun for comp. For pubs, I mean, if you run into someone with a hemlock and you have a scout, good luck. The scout used to be a problem back in, like, I think it was like season 4, season 5, like everyone was using it. Now everyone's kind of, you know, step back. They're using the hemlock now. The hemlock's considerably better than the scout, but I mean, you could still argue that the scout is an S tier gun, but for right now it's above average to me. R301 is, like, I mean, it is an S tier weapon, but I don't know, I'll probably say it definitely is a S tier. Like, I mean, it's an above average gun, absolutely, but S tier, I mean, come on, like, you can't argue with it at the same time, or, well, you can argue that it's just above average than it is, like, you know, like one of the best guns in the game. I mean, everyone uses the 301. The recoil pattern's insanely easy to control. Its DPS is 190. I mean, why wouldn't you? The reload speeds at the same as the hemlock. I mean, the R301's been good. I don't think it's ever been terrible, so I think it definitely belongs in S. Alternator is an above average gun now. They changed the DPS on it, or just the damage in general, and it's really good. The alternator hasn't been extremely bad. I think it's always been, you know, an average gun, but now it's above average in season 8. It's very good to use. The Re-45 is a average gun with quick draw. I'd probably say I mean, I'd say this is just like the pocket 9, like that's what I call it, Re-45 pocket 9. So I mean, might as well, I'm just gonna do it this way just for the sake of how many are everywhere. I want to put one here. So the Re without the hop up is average, and then with it it's above average, but I mean, no, screw it, it's gonna go there. The Re-45 is called the pocket 9 for good reason. I mean, the mag size is crazy. The DPS on the Re is insane compared to a lot of the other pistols, except for the Wingman. I mean, it hits for 150. The max size goes up to like 25, which is basically just like like I said, a mini 9, like has 2 less bullets, and then compared to the Volt has like 1 less bullet. I mean, it's definitely one of the best. So speaking of the Volt, I'm gonna go ahead and put the Volt S tier. Volt's S tier. R99 is S tier. 303 repeater is in, I'm definitely gonna say F. I mean, Anvil receiver is like average. There's like nothing really great about it, so I'm gonna get into it. Volt has been, ever since it came into the game, it's been top tier. Its DPS is 180, and the max size goes up to 26. Like I said, 1 less bullet, or 1 more bullet than the RE. The Volt has considerably less recoil compared to a lot of other guns. I mean, a lot of the guns up here are easier to control. Exactly why the reason I have them up here is because they're just easy. They're easy to use, and they're rewarding. So basically, the Wingman is a high risk, it's a high risk, high reward type gun because it's single shot. And so, like the Volt per se, I mean, it has an easy recoil pattern that you can control. The DPS is crazy. The max size is forgiving. Same thing with the 9. I mean, the 9 has 198 DPS with the highest max size being 27. There's no reason why you shouldn't pick up these 2 guns when you're in a game. They're absolutely insane. Like pubs or comp, both guns are extremely good to pick up and can compete with just about any gun on this list. 303 repeater, I wouldn't put it below average. I definitely put it with the P20. I don't like the 3030 repeater. I think it needs a rework. I think it's pretty bad. I mean, the damage output on it's just like DPS is literally like so low compared to the others. It's literally 98 damage per second. I mean, it's really like not that good at all, and they need to figure it out. I mean, it is a repeater, but it just doesn't belong really in any higher tier to me at least, but it's pretty bad. Anvil receiver, I mean, like I said, these guns are right where they are, but like, I mean, if we're grading it just off of the hop up itself, like, I mean, it doesn't really do that much. I mean, you could argue that it belongs up here, but I mean, anvil receiver has always been kind of bleh. I mean, it's just a single shot. It shoots the gun very, very slow. I mean, what's the point in picking up the hop up on here? Well, actually, I'd say the point to picking up a hop up on these guns considerably over like a scout or a hemlock. I mean, you get that range ability, but even then, it still is gonna have a decent amount of drop off on it, and I don't think anvil is all that great. At that point, you're better off just picking up a scout in general. But you also get 2-in-1 when it comes to these guns, which is cool, but the likelihood of finding an anvil receiver on the ground is like bleh, you know, because it's a golden hop up. But if you guys enjoyed this tier list, I tried to put every gun where I think they belonged. I tried to go in depth. I tried to explain the guns to the best of the ability, you know, their damage, why I put them where they are, why they're used in certain areas of the game. I definitely think I did a pretty good job on it. I hope you guys definitely enjoy this little tier list that has been made right here. I am going to start getting back into doing more videos, and I'm going to be posting more. So I hope you guys definitely enjoyed this one. This is your boy Fearless. I hope you guys consider subscribing if you're new, and also hit that notification bell, like the video. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.